Alright guys, I'm Lurker101 and we are playing Kerbal Space Program Sandbox Insanity. My continuing mission to land a base on whatever bit of rock I can find. Today we're going to Minmus. I've got a nice little design here. I know it doesn't look like much from this angle, but wait till you see it. I wanted to bring toys on my next mission. And this one is a toy in and of itself. I didn't want just a standard static base, I wanted a rolling base, and that is exactly what we've got. When I eventually turn the camera around you will see. This is a strange launch sequence thing. I'm still not that much better at KSP, I'll be honest, but I have been spending a lot more time in the career mode. This is a slow, steady, controlled lift off. And it's actually going very well, which proves with enough struts you can do anything. Well, almost anything. There's some designs I can't get away with. Not even I can get away with them, but this one, that is one beautifully steady ascent. I mean, you can probably jump faster. I see it jump faster. It's going what, 160 meters a second. That's roughly 130 miles an hour, and look at that! Pretty much a spider's web holding it together. We are slightly asparagus. I think that's an asparagus stage. I'm not completely sure. You'll also notice, as my Kerbals freak out, I've got a lot of radiators on the launch stage. That's because the big rockets, well, the big engines, they don't like to burn too much. And they will overheat. I learned that the hard way. After about 3 minutes of burning, they got hot, they got very hot, then they exploded. I had to have a lot of radiators. But thankfully, this whole ascent stage, it went beautifully. I remember to have some boosters on the rockets just to get them out of the way. I didn't want things going wrong, and Minmus has a very special place in my heart. Most people, their first achievement, well, second achievement with KSP, first one being getting into orbit, the next one is landing on the moon. I didn't do that. I aimed for the moon, and I missed. And I hit Minmus instead, and I landed perfectly. First time, I couldn't believe it. You'd never seen anybody so happy. As you can see, I like to turn late when you've got these big stages. It's always better to just be patient, wait. You don't need to pretend you've got manly, you don't need to go 10k. You don't. There's just no point. Go with what is sensible. Make sure you've got the thrust and you can do it. I know I said the base itself was the toy, but I've got a few more toys as well. Don't you worry about that. The extra toys are why we're launching with this stage, which is insane. It's an insane looking stage. That's a cobweb. But I couldn't fit the boosters on the bottom. But when we land, you'll find out why. We've got a bit of wobble. Little bit. I see a little bit. It looks like we've red with a slinky. But we've got rid of the launch stage. Now we've just got the transfer stage to deal with. And I'm not quite sure this has as much thrust as I wanted. But we can get around. It doesn't matter. I'll show you. While I get this orbit, I'll show you how it's built. And how's that for a site to transition back into? That's one of the beauties of having a cupola on the top stage. That is one fantastic view. And I want to know which BK that is. Is it Bill or is it Bob that's eating all the snacks? The first time I saw that post-it note, I killed over laughing. That was... all the little details in this game are beautifully crafted. And here's my little transfer all the way to Minmus. Lots of planning, lots of screwing up. First I changed the inclination of the orbit, and then I just burn out. It shows that I do have more than enough fuel to get there. And thanks to all me little playing about in KSP career mode, which I'm doing a lot better at, I'll be honest. At the moment, I'm in my career mode, I'm having to get onto Val. Vicious Val, and it's not going well. This is all getting done in version 1.0.4, so got to think about aerodynamics, got to think about atmospheric heating. It's a nightmare, but this is fun. And I decide, you know what? I'm getting better at this. Let's pick where I land. Let's go for the pole. A polar drop will be nice. This is all vanilla, by the way. I'm actually starting to understand what Delta V is as well. I never thought I'd be one of those. I'm not going to go on about Delta V and this and there. You don't need it. There you are, me planning my landing and realising I don't actually want to land there. I want somewhere flat. We're getting ready to land. So slowly, carefully, with a nice view of the moon and Kerbal in one shot. We burn, we slow down, get ready for a landing. And once we kill our relative velocity, we're just going to dump those. Because I don't plan on driving with two massive rockets strapped to the side of the base. There just wouldn't be any point, would there? So slowly, gently, we take our time, we'll make sure we do it properly. I know most people will think, what do you need all that RCS fuel for? Have you ever tried driving on Minmus? It is not easy, so I'm using the RCS as a stabiliser. It's not like you can have a back wing for downforce. You need the RCS. And you'll have noticed in the build stage, I added a drill. And a conversion thing. And somewhere to hold ore. This is going to be a completely self-sustained base. It'll drive around Minmus all at once. Actually, if I added parachutes and air brakes, I could have actually flown it all the way back to Kerbal as well. Because you can get off Minmus with just RCS if you make the effort. There's me side boosters gone. My transfer stage, and now we are just powered fully on RCS thrusters. Some of them do rely on the liquid fuel oxidizer mix once right at the bottom. I wanted that extra just for the landing. The rest of the RCS will be fine. But yeah, we can mine our own fuel again. Just keep ourselves going round and round Minmus as much as we like. Quickly rename the vessel because it's no longer the launcher. The launcher's gone. This is just the mini mobile base. I couldn't think of a better name. Slowly leveling out, trying to remember which buttons which for the RCS, because you've still got the WESD QE, but you've also got the, if I remember rightly, IJKL bit and H and N for all your movement as well on RCS, which it's a pain in the backside if I'm honest. I should have wrote down the controls just so I know which is up, which is down. That way I can get the downforce and drive a lot better. We have I was going to call them funky lights. They're not funky lights. We've got white at the front, red at the back. Sort of hazard lights to, look, this is a drill. Don't get in the way of it. Just slowly taking our time. I'm in no rush to get this done. I'd rather get it done perfectly first time. Which unfortunately means there's no extra footage at the end of this video of where I screwed up. And the beautiful sound of debris exploding into the planet, well, planetoid. And it looks like not all of it has exploded. Some of it has remained, one tiny portion. So that means we've got something to drive to once we eventually land. And that's kind of nice. It gives us something to aim for. An initial target. Slowly, gently, we will land. We will actually try. We're going a bit sideways here. That's not it's not a problem. Here's the RCS. Kill our relative velocity. That's more explosions. Even at this point, I'm not sure this button does what I think it does. Is this going the right direction? But it all goes pretty well at this point, doesn't it? And a nice controlled landing. Couldn't have asked for better. Couldn't have asked for more. And first mistake, sticking out the landing struts. Second mistake, I didn't press down, I pressed up. Pressing every button I can. Where's the right button just to force me back down to the ground? And there we are, settled, landed. That was a successful launch. So now I get to play with me toy. I get to drive around Minmus. Now, unfortunately, it's easy to get carried away. And getting carried away is a very bad thing. All of this driving section is accelerated, by the way. Well, best part of it. Because you've got to be gentle on the throttle. You can't take any sharp turns. You can't just slam on the brakes. Bad things happen when you do that, as you're about to find out. And that's a great driving view as well. The Kerbals looking happy. The scientists have been moved to the science module. The engineers are in the living quarters. Pilot in the cupola at the front with the best driving view in Kerbal. Is it Kerbal? What is the galaxy? I was going to say a galaxy. Galaxy is too big a thing. What's the star system called? I'm sure it's Kerbal. Pretty sure it is. And that's what happens when you turn sharp. Quick, try to remember which RCS is which. Force yourself down, give yourself downforce. That's the button I wanted. And we are safely on the ground again. Still going a bit too fast, but a bit too fast isn't too bad. We also need the RCS not only to keep ourselves grounded, especially when you slam on the brakes like that. That was a bad move. You also need to use it as brakes. Instead of hitting the B button, you hit the I key and use that as your brakes. There you go, I found the right key. That's keeping us down as I extend the landing gear. And I've got to, because that tumble cost me a tyre. So let's get an engineer out. Quickly do a crew report. Because we're outside, we might as well. Let's fix that wheel. That one's fine, it's the one next to it. You can see the state of it. And while we're here, let's have a quick taste of the ground. I mean, surface sample. Turns out, the ground is not made of mint ice cream. A little disappointing. They'll have to find other food. Unless, of course, they're going to just suck in nutrients from the atmosphere. Which would actually be pretty damn creepy. Wheel fixed. Back into the living quarters. And we can head out. Find out what piece of debris survived. How magnificent does that look? I'm quite proud of that design. Took a lot of work. What you saw in the build stage was roughly what it looked like, you know, just me just slamming parts together. What you didn't see was me here with a pencil and paper and a full sketch of what I wanted. I did initially have a smaller base, but I realised I wanted more toys, I wanted to refuel, and that's where the length came from. Otherwise, it would have just been cupola, science module, living quarters, and a cargo thing, just to carry all the science, because I'm taking all the science I can with us. And slamming on the anchors way too hard again. That's why we have RCS. That could have launched me into space. I could have accidentally orbited again. I had to slam on the brakes though because I overshot. But slowly, gently does it. We will find this piece of debris and we will claim it as the starting block for our base, which doesn't actually have a starting block. The entire planetoid moon is our base. Minmus shall be ours. No hill too steep, no valley too steep. We can drive anywhere with this, just not really fast. There you can see us slamming the anchors on once again. Carefully does it. I think that's actually close enough. That is almost, just back it up a touch. I want it close enough for a good old fashioned screenshot. And it looks like it's a booster rocket. Just for the decoupling. Let's go out. Let the pilot do this one. First off, show me party piece. All of the solar panels. Give me enough power to mine as long as I want. Convert all that ore into fuel as long as I want. As long as the sun's out. Some communications. That way we can talk to all the other bases, because there's got to be many more bases. And let's go take a look at that rocket. That is tiny, but it survived. And it's levitating. Get in the right position and place that flag. There we have it. The mini mobile base. I know it's not exactly mini, but Minmus isn't exactly minty. We will know where our journey truly started. It's not where we landed, it's where that piece landed, right there. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I've got plans for wackier designs later on, and I hope you join us to basically really enjoy them. See you next time. Goodbye.